around making moves, and that's exactly all the shit we do proper. Even though sometimes we work for so
Hello and welcome to Grid Vision. We're excited to be here this lovely Tuesday night for Champion Power Equipment Truck Series action at Auto Club Speedway. I'm sure so excited I can't even get my words out. Glad to be back. Of course, it's been about 3 weeks since we've seen the Champion Power Equipment guys in action, and we're here for a brand new season. Of course, my name is Brian Britt. I'm joined in the booth by my co-commentator, Austin Edstrom, and of course, Austin Derbyshire, down behind the scenes, behind the cameras. How are you doing tonight, Austin? What you thinking about Auto Club here in these trucks?
I'm doing pretty well. Didn't really expect to be here tonight, but I'm happy I got the call because I absolutely love Auto Club, love this racetrack. I haven't seen a truck race here in a long time on the iRacing service, but I know that Cup Cars put on a good show every single time we come to this crazy 2-mile racetrack. Looking at the track map right here, 81 degrees, nice and cool, so there's going to be plenty of grip for all of our competitors here tonight. And I think we're going to be on for a really good show. Just seeing the draft down the front stretch, down the long back stretch. I think people are going to get crazy runs coming through the high side of both of these corners, being able to run so many different lines through each of the turns. I just think it's going to be able to put on a really good show here tonight for us.
No, I definitely agree for sure. Before we get too much further into the details, though, I think now's a good time of the week. Of course, tonight is Champion Power Equipment Truck Series Tuesday, essentially. We're going to be having some the conclusion of a championship, actually, tomorrow in Thunderclap competition at Homestead, Miami. Of course, that being the Thunderclap iRacing Series presented by TLC Incorporated. That's going to be going green about 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Me and Justin Prince should be on the call for that. That one's going to be a hot one. What's interesting is one of the drivers that is actually in that series is in here tonight. Kind of cool to see that. Of course, on Friday night, we're going to continue with our NIS Top Split coverage. Of course, they're going to be at Texas Motor Speedway. Expect a lot of action there, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, of course, on Sunday, the doubleheader Sunday, Texas Motor Speedway twice in pretty much that day. 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Global Racing Truck Series, and at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the RGR, or the really good racing series, or Kailu Cup, I should say, is going to be in action there at Texas as well. So definitely a lot of action we have in front of us for this week. Racing almost every week.
That's a
every
big
day,
schedule if I've ever seen one. My goodness. Cannot believe how much racing action we have on par for you guys here at Grid Vision. Crazy. We've gone from a couple off weeks on a couple of the series, and now all of a sudden everything is back, ready to go as we start out our Champion Power Truck Series season here today. Crazy to see that schedule just so packed. Really good to see.
No, it's definitely it's heartwarming to see all these people that are wanting some good broadcasting here. But here we go. Looks like we got the I think we got the starting grid kind of all set here. Starting on the pole, James Harris. Second place, of course, going to be Craig Ganzak, who I do believe is our previous season's champion. Third place, that person I was saying that kind of has that overlap between Thunderclap and now champion Sean Boundy. He's going to be starting third. Fourth place, Nathan Nicholson. Fifth place, Justin Levine. Sixth place, Keegan Sobilo. Seventh, Tyler Meeks. Eighth, James South. Ninth, John Lacido. And 10th, Daniel Starner.
11th place is going to be Steve Clegg. 12th, Caleb Forsyth. 13th place is going to be Jason Taylor. 14th, Brad Thacker. 15th, oh man, that's a tough one. Maui Math. 16th, Nathan Meyer. 17th, William Mann Jr. 18th, Brandon Ball. 19th, Brian Whitney. 20th, Robert Wynn. And rounding out our 21-car field here tonight, Mike Wheeler.
That's funny, Maui Math. I got Mark Math on my ATV here, but I guess maybe that's a chosen custom name for him. But I want to go back to that third place guy, Sean Boundy. I was like, wow, what is he doing here in Champion Power Equipment Truck Series competition here tonight? But apparently, before he ran in Thunderclap, he was in this series. So this is actually somewhat of a reunion. And of course, Sean Boundy tomorrow night is going to be going to duke it out for a championship. So, love to see him. We're going to get to see him 2 nights in Grid Vision competition. You'd just love to see that for sure. 3 nights. Oh, yeah, 3 nights, considering we have Monday Night Super Speedway Series that is, of course, pretty much done by us Grid Vision. Of course, we just had that last night. That was a fun one to watch for sure as well. But a little bit of details about the race here tonight. 60 laps. Of course, we're going to have a competition caution on lap 15. If, of course, we have a caution a couple laps before that, then that will serve as the competition caution. Also, fuel window is about 35-ish, is from what I was told. I'm just quoting what I was told, 35-ish. And, of course, 3 sets of tires down there in the pits. this is going to be a pack race, and I'm excited about it. Just considering Auto Club, very groupy style track, high speeds, almost super speedway-like, and mile-and-a-half at the same time.
Yeah, with the trucks not having too much power under the hood, especially compared to the Xfinity cars, and even the Cup cars, really lends itself to kind of being a draft-heavy race and letting these guys stay really close throughout the entirety of the event. And again, just being able to, these trucks have kind of been dirty air machines the last couple seasons on iRacing, and to have a track like Auto Club start out the season here where you got so many different lanes you can use on the racetrack really lends itself to plenty of passing opportunities instead of just having to ride the tire tracks of whoever's in the hot lane in front of you. You get to use the draft to kind of give yourself a little bit of advantage down the long straightaways we got here at Auto Club Speedway, and then using the entire width of the racetrack to really try to build a run for the next straightaway going down into the corner. So it's going to lend itself to some really good racing here tonight in the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series.
Yeah, 100%. It's all going to be about momentum here tonight. That's going to be pretty much the key. I mean, you're going to really not want to have to give up a run. If you have one, you're going to take it. I mean, otherwise you lose on that. Very valuable momentum, especially with these trucks being so low horsepower. So I suspect we're going to see a lot of pressure. The guys are not going to be wanting to check up here for sure. Get ready to have the pace car dip down pit road. James Harris with the field in hand. And here we go. Getting ready to enter that Geico restart zone as the green flag is out for the first time here in Champion Power Equipment Truck Series as we start a new season. Door-to-door for first place, door-to-door throughout the top 10, almost the top 20.
Yeah, everybody just having to wait on that green flag. The leader did not have control of the race. And Janzak did a good start there, but he did fall back on the entrance to turn number 1 as now we're 3 wide coming out of turn number 2. Race leader James Harris gets crazy loose coming out of turn number 2. Just holds on to the car as now the 3 machine of I can't talk today. Greg Janzak. I'm going to have to get a pronunciation.
It's Janzak. It is
Janzak. Janzak takes the lead 1-3, but he's under challenge for Bounty on the outside coming out of turn number 4.
That was nuts to see James Harris get so loose like that all of a sudden. I'm wondering if maybe that had something to do with the cold tires or something, or maybe he was getting too much. Not out of the fight yet. Sean Bounty, our Thunderclap guy, is now up to clear contact as Harris gets down into, I'm not sure, I think that was Nathan Nicholson possibly, or Tyler Meeks, I think actually. I'm not sure what just happened, but we saw James Harris have some contact with another driver there. They were fighting for third place. And of course, Keegan Safilo has moved up to the third position after the ball. Oh, and there goes Janzak sideways out of turn 4. What is happening? Chaos is going on right here in Champion Power Equipment Truck Series.
Oh, is that Levine looking to the inside of Janzak down the front stretch too? Janzak's really building that power slide coming out of the corner. We call it the Power Equipment Truck Series here, and that was an absolute coming out of turn number 4 there for Janzak, really working the name of the league there. Unfortunately, on the first lap, I give our producer a lot of crap for being C-tier producer. That was some C-tier commentating on Janzak's pronunciation there on my part, but still, great job from Janzak getting on that car. But he did fall back all the way to 8th place. 16 mistake here on lap 2.
I'm not sure. Oh, we're even seeing some more issues. Guys getting into the wall a little bit. I think that was Tyler Meeks having a little bit of an issue. But a lot of drivers are starting to, I don't know if they're just getting on edge. I'm not sure what's happening here. But it seems like the cars are just not handling like we have seen in previous, I think, races here at Auto Club. So we're taking a look back at the replay, and I do believe this is, if I'm not mistaken, I think that is Harris dropping to the field.
Oh my goodness, crazy saves all throughout the field. I couldn't quite tell who that was at the very back. That might have been Paul. Crazy save. I can't quite tell. Oh, another one up here, second place. Nicholson just about gets crazy sideways off the turn number 4. Able to hold on to that 99 club. That's going to open the door to 77. Oh, Savio going to the outside. That's probably Savio. I'm going to tear. Oh man, big red going down into turn number 1. Janzak's involved. James South is involved. Oh, he gets caught up again by a car further back in the pack. And the caution's going to come out. Oh, the 42 hard into the outside wall after that wreck had already happened. Crazy racing at the beginning of this race.
Already we're seeing some guys getting really damaged very heavily. As you see, the 42 is completely missing his front nose. Now, of course, these guys do have, if I'm not mistaken, one fast repair to play with. And, of course, that 42 was Mike Wheeler. And just unfortunate. And you actually, I think you had the pronunciation of Keegan Sobilo
Yeah, first time calling the series, so I'm going to give myself a little bit of leeway with some of the names, but South just got caught there. Shoot, who was that? Yanzak. Yeah, it was Yanzak that got into the back of South going down to turn number 1, turned him hard into the outside wall. South could not hang on to that truck. Not too surprising. He kind of sucks, so it's not too surprising. But that's nothing on him there. I mean, he just absolutely got turned. Drop Yanzak afterwards, hold on to the car, the truck. His mistake, the right rear of James South going down into the corner. I promise I'm not just biased because he's got the grid vision on his hood. That was maybe a little aggressive there from Yanzak on the early going.
And you got to keep in mind as well, I know you weren't really here last night, Austin, but they were battling as well last night in the Grid Vision Super Speedway Series at, if I'm not mistaken, it was a Daytona race in the NASCAR Next Gen. And you know, Yanzak was being pretty aggressive last night as well. Him and South raced each other quite a bit last night. So could some of that be carrying over here to tonight's race?
I mean, it definitely could, but you just think that there would be a little bit more give and take, but it is a relatively short race in all seriousness. The last Auto Club race that I called was double length of this, right? And it was a Cup Series race, and I mean, that just took forever. It felt like there was just so much time allotted in that race for people to make moves, but with a 60 lap kind of dash right here for the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series to start off the season, it just seems like everybody's got ants in their pants. They're just really ready to go. They've got a couple week break, and now that they've got their Tuesday back taken up by the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series, they're really trying to win this first race here.
No, 100%. And this is also the stepping point for the rest of the season. I mean, you want to step out on the right, of course, on the right foot. But while we have a moment, you keep mentioning Champion Power Equipment. Well, let's talk a little bit about them and give them their dues. Of course, the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series is sponsored by Champion Power Equipment. Of course, if you're looking for reliable or high-performance power equipment to tackle any job, look no further than Champion Power Equipment. Whether you're in need of a portable generator, pressure washer, or any other power tool, Champion has you covered with top-of-the-line products at affordable prices. And as the proud sponsor of the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series, they're excited to bring you even more power and performance on and off track. Visit championpowerequipment.com today to learn more. So definitely want to shout them out for always being such a, just really an awesome sponsor here of this series.
Awesome to see Champion Power Equipment back on as the title sponsor once again. Obviously, I didn't get to do any races in this series last season, but I know that it was a barn burner of a season. Really good racing year-round from these guys. Just a couple-week break, and they're right back at it early. I mean, we just saw so many crazy saves on the early going of this event. I mean, I thought that there were going to be about 5 accidents before the actual one happened. You know, I mean, there was just so much going on. And luckily, like you mentioned, a couple of these guys were able to come down and use the fast repair, so they're not completely out of this race. But it is kind of tough to use it so early. You know, you would rather save that for a little bit later in the event, but obviously drivers like Wheeler in the 42 and James South in the 21 absolutely had to come down and use their fast repair at that point from that caution. Probably a couple other drivers as well.
Pace car lights are out. We're getting ready to get this thing back underway, and I definitely agree totally with you. This is way too early to be using that fast repair. Well, one thing I want to also point out as well, you're seeing that we are near sunset here as well at Auto Club Speedway. The track has been kind of hard to drive. It seems like very slick at the moment. I'm wondering how that's going to change as the sun goes down.
Could give them a little bit more grip, but also the track is not super hot as it is. It was only 81 degrees, and that's just not a hot track temp on iRacing in all seriousness. It's not cold, but I would expect there to be a little bit more grip. But, I mean, I guess with the open setups, everybody's just kind of giving it their all, and there's a lot of wiggle room in terms of setting up your truck tight, setting up your truck loose. And it just seemed like the middle of the corners and exit were really just catching a lot of the drivers off in the first.
Man, that's more seat deer commentating. It's their fixed setups.
Oh man, I'm in here and it's telling me I can change setups, so I thought it was open. Either way, well,
I'm just playing with you, buddy.
We're
You're
full
awesome.
seats here tonight.
But here we go. Green flag going to be coming out here for the second time. John Bounty going to be leading us there. He crosses the line and he gets a really good start. I think he's going to jump up to the top. The top line, of course, I think is going to be really strong here at Auto Club, especially in the longer run. What is your take? I know you have a lot of experience for this racetrack.
Yeah, I'd have to imagine it move up a little bit. outside so that you can get a good run down the front stretch, especially. So I would expect to see people moving up a lane, 2 lanes, maybe even into the 3rd lane as the night goes on, and we maybe get a long green flag run at some point. But this first stage, only 15 laps, so you got to think that they're all going to be running just about as close to the bottom as they can through the middle of the corner. We have a side-by-side battle for the lead. Sean Bounty's under pressure from Nathan Nicholson going down into turn number 1. The driver of the 99 is racing just right before that caution, the first caution that came out of the night, but now he's challenging for the race lead, just about clear, coming off of turn number 2. Oh, he just clears himself, gets turned just a little bit, coming down the backstretch, able to hold on to that machine. Another great save from the 99, but he's going to have to fall back just about. He actually holds on to the battle for the race lead. I thought he was going to fall back a couple more positions, but he's actually able to hold on to the inside of the 34 as they almost make contact again, going through 3 and 4, and he's going to edge out the 34 for the race lead coming off of turn 4.
Wow, these guys are racing for pretty much everything. You can tell how much this means to these guys to be able to win this race. Of course, keep in mind, we do have a competition caution coming up on lap 15. But Nathan Nicholson right now in control. But here comes Justin Levine to the inside. Of course, he's taking the narrow way around, which is not going to give him a lot of momentum on exit. We'll see what he's able to do here as he tries to side draft the 99. Sean Bounty as well, neck and neck with Nathan Meyer. So the top 4 under a blanket right now as we're getting ready to go possibly 3 wide.
Justin Levine really throwing it down to the bottom, trying to get some separation from the 99, but the 99's loose coming off at turn 4. He's just a little sideways coming off as the 24 is just about wrecking behind him. He holds on to it coming out of turn number 4. Nathan Meyer, my goodness, what a save from the 24.
How did he save that? He could have easily spun that car out, but kept it underway. He didn't even fall out of the top 10. He's still in 6th place. He is starting to try to fight his way back into it. Of course, the battle still rages on for the lead. Nathan Nicholson in control right now as we have 3 laps to go here into the state until the competition caution flag comes out. We also see Craig Yanzak's trying to work his way up. He's up in 9th, trying to battle side by side with Tyler Meeks.
Man, just hard racing all throughout the racetrack. I mean, everybody knows they got to get as many positions before that caution comes out. Every little bit that you gain on the racetrack just sets you up better for the pit stop, and everybody seems to be aware of that, trying to get every little bit of track position they can before that forced caution that will come out either on lap 15 or as we complete lap 15. But man, I mean, the way they fan out through the corners, they can get 3 wide, they can even get 4 wide if they really, really wanted to, and we've almost seen that a couple times as Yanzak's trying to make the middle lane work. Coming off at turn number 2, though, it doesn't look like he's going to have too much momentum. He's not getting side drafted too heavily, so I don't think he's going to fall back majorly, but that outside line is kind of lined up. Looks like the 34 is going to be able to get to his outside going into 3.
We also have Brian Whitney, new name. I've never seen him before as he makes it 3 wide, jumps up in front of Craig Yanzak, now up to 8th place. These guys are battling so hard right now. And, you know, you can see that in the corners, these guys are really trying to look for real estate on the racetrack to try to get clean air. That's one thing about Auto Club in Michigan, the sister tracks, that you really want to try to get is that clean air in the corners. Of course, you want the track in the straightaway, but clean air in the corners is key.
Absolutely, but the track being so wide really lends itself to driver talent. It lets you move around. It lets you find a different lane where you don't have to ride in the dirty air, and it lets you be able to just gain track position every single corner if you really position that truck right going down into the corner. But man, whenever you're just caught up in the mess that we see from about 8th place on back, even if you find a little bit of clean air, there's almost nowhere to go with it coming off the corner. Oh man, they're just about wrecking out of 4 again. The 7 shows the 34 out of the top lane. Bounty trying to make the move on the damaged truck of Meeks. I believe that's Meeks in the 7. I might have the name wrong on that one. Yeah, Tyler Meeks on the 7 on the outside. But the yellow flag is out as they take lap number 15. This is the competition caution.
Wow, this is, I mean, I'm glad that caution kind of came out, to be honest with you. These guys are getting so crazy right now. I mean, I just cannot believe the action we're seeing. I mean, I'm on the edge of my seat, have no clue what's going to happen next. I mean, I don't know the audience out there have got to be enjoying themselves as well. I mean, my heart's pounding just watching this.
So unfortunate to see this track go away next year in real life. I mean, what an amazing racetrack that we've got on our hands. I mean, this thing was pretty terrible in the early 2010s. One of my least favorite races whenever I knew that anytime I saw Auto Club coming up with the schedule, I was so sad, like, we're going to get some crappy race. But the last 5 years at this racetrack have just been absolutely phenomenal, and it is so heartbreaking to see it go in real life. But luckily on the iRacing service, we're going to be able to hold on to this racetrack forever and be able to run it anytime we want. And this is why. This is going to be a staple in leagues for years to come because this track is so unbelievably racy.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's just unfortunate that, you know, it was kind of in an area that they weren't able to get the attendance the ticket sales that they really needed. And that's just, you know, it's heartbreaking to see a track that is just so much fun and has actually produced a lot of very good, you know, finishes. Some of the best finishes in NASCAR, I think, over the last decade, right?
I mean, yeah, even whenever the track was not that good, like the time frame I was mentioning earlier, we saw some absolutely crazy races between Kevin Harvick and Jimmy Johnson. I remember them having a crazy duel to the finish. I mean, the Xfinity race that always pops in my mind where Kyle Busch ran out of gas and then, or I think he blew a tire running over some debris, and then Daniel
Oh,
Suarez
he's
took the
trying to
lead but
finish
ran
the
out of
race. I think he
gas.
still finished it, yeah.
Yeah, he still finished second after Austin Dillon came from about half the track back to pass Kyle Busch after he had blown that tire. I
Yep.
mean, just
I
this
remember that,
track
yep.
puts on crazy finishes anytime that, you know, we have drivers close to each other. Even the one that Larson won in the first race of the next gen car was absolutely bonkers. Just seeing the lead change between him, Daniel Suarez, and Eric Jones. We see that every single time that we come to the Auto Club Speedway on the iRacing service. Just crazy lead changes, crazy runs out of the corners as everybody can just about hold it wide open. It's almost a modified plate race.
No, 100%. I mean, but you also have tire wear that also comes into play as well. You know, of course, you have to be able to manage your resources. And I think that's one of the big things about Auto Club that you find success. Like, yeah, you might not be fast on the shorter run, but if you can save your stuff and stay alive, you're going to find yourself with better resources later in the race, and you're going to be able to make moves the other guys can't whenever they're struggling. And I think that's going to be possibly who wins this race, unless we come down to a, you know, kind of a short run to the end if we have a late race caution, which could very easily happen just considering the amount of craziness we've already seen thus far. I did see a big call, I do believe, on pit road. Mark Math, I'm pretty sure he just took a 2-tire stop.
A little weird to do that so early in the event, if I'm being honest.
Maybe
just a little
I don't
bit
even
early
know
to
if
do
he
that.
did. I think he might have actually just took him fuel only. 7 seconds in his box, so I think that's only a fuel stop there.
That's an interesting one. Let me see. They got 3 tire sets behind the wall, so it'd be a little weird not to put one down at the competition caution. I think tires are going to mean a lot here. Even though you can go relatively wide open compared to most racetracks around the corners, it's still a very abrasive racetrack where there's a lot of tire fall off over the course of 10 to 20 laps. So even if Math doesn't get past immediately, I think he's going to be kind of a sitting duck. Even if it's after 5 laps, he's just going to fall throughout the pack.
No, I agree 100%. I mean, we saw even under that last run. I mean, we saw about a half a second fall off. That's big. That's a pretty good amount of fall off. So I think that he's definitely gonna fall through this field quite quickly, and he could even be somewhat of an obstacle. Now, if it comes down to later to where you know, we have multiple cautions where there could be some guys that are out of tires at the end of this thing, and he has a set left, that could be big. Yes, that could be big, but I don't foresee that being the case, just considering we're about 42 laps to go.
Yeah, I just don't think that there's really going to be much tire strategy because everybody that just came down pit road still has 2 sets behind the pit wall. And even if we have a quick caution, it's not like anybody's going to come down and take 4 tires after 4 or 5 laps on the tires this early. So I don't know. It's just a little bit weird of a call, but maybe he's thinking, okay, well, if I get that caution in 5 to 6 laps, I know nobody's going to take tires, and then I can come down. Even though he would start at the back of the pack, he would have 5 or 6 lap pressure tires. And if it runs green from there, he would be in the driver's seat. No,
that's true. I mean, that could play out. I mean, just a little bit of an off strategy, outside of the box strategy, could be exactly what you need to differentiate yourself. As, of course, the pace car lights have gone off. We're going to be heading down pit road here in just a moment as we get ready to see Nathan Nicholson up through the gears as we get ready to enter that Geico restart zone. And what a race we have seen thus far. I expect we're going to see some 3 wide, maybe even some 4 wide here in just a moment. As here we go, green flag flies once again, and Nathan Nicholson up through the gears, top line just not going. Mark Math, I don't know what happened there, but he just did not go. But Justin Levine now challenging for the lead. Oh man, Nathan Nicholson must have missed a gear shift in some way because there's no reason the driver that starts in 3rd place should be able to clear you before you get into turn number 1. But Justin Levine did just that. Look at James South. He's rebounded from all the way in the back of the pack. He's looking to the outside of the top 5 right now, coming off at 2, 3 wide. 3 wide right now as South has barely any room up to the wall. I mean, this is just awesome racing right here. You see, of course, James Harris sitting right there as well. As these guys are almost veritable 4 wide right now for that 5th place position. Man, James South is somehow going to come from the back of the pack
to about 3rd place in about 10 laps. Crazy job from James South if he can get the run, but it looks like he might get split here for about the 4th place position. They're 3 wide right behind him. Looks like he's going to be able to hold on to that outside line. He throws it in super deep on the outside, trying to get to the outside of the 199 of Math. Looks like he's going to be able to do it, but he's still 3 wide with another truck down on the bottom. That's Lucido in the 73.
You see Mark Math right there. He is, of course, getting caught down by James Harris. And, of course, we are 4 wide. Big send from Sean Boundy all the way on the bottom here. He is taking a very narrow entry into 3 and 4 here, as he is, of course, going to come along side by side with Mark Math. Look, Mark Math into the outside wall. James South as well. Caution flag should fly based on this, but yep, there it is. The yellow flag is out, as you see even Jason Taylor sideways on the front stretch. Of course, I don't think he got a whole lot of damage, but I think the ones we're going to really want to look at for damage is Mark Math and James South. Very hard hits.
Yeah, that's going to be it from James South. He's actually already disconnected. It kind of looked like Math on the older tires just seemed to push up on the exit of the corner and took James's nose off. James is all the way by the wall as they come out of the corner. That's just a little bit too early to be coming out of the corner. Just turns himself right across James South's nose, who was just holding his line. Didn't need to track out just yet to the wall as they were not completely out of the corner. And just Matt just got a little bit too aggressive on the throttle, probably coming out of the corner on the older tires. I get it. He's trying to hold on to that track position. We said he was probably going to fall really, really quick on the old tires. He was doing a good job of holding on, but I think he was just maybe a little bit too hard on the gas.
Love this view right here. You could clearly see he was not clear, and he kind of cleared himself on South, and unfortunately South paid the price, probably even more than Mark Math did. So, I mean, Math probably is going to be able to go down pit road, get that fixed, and continue. But now South is pretty much going to be done for the evening, unfortunately. And you see a lot of drivers now coming to pit road. This is kind of interesting. I'm curious. There it is. Yep, that definitely was contact. There was no two ways about it. Those 2 drivers connected there, and unfortunate for South. I mean, just had a really fast race car underneath him.
Yeah, that's interesting. They've actually already handed fault to Mark Math on that incident, and he's been given an EOL penalty for the next restart. So tough break for all the guys that got spun out or wrecked in that. I'm pretty surprised to see so many drivers come down pit road right now. I'm thinking that they are probably there was a couple really quick pit stops right there, so I'm thinking a couple of those guys just came down to top it off with fuel to make sure they could make it to the end. It would be stretching it from this point, but you did say 35-ish. That makes me think there's a little bit of leeway. We're going to get another lap and a half under caution probably right here, and that is going to put us at about 37 to go. And with the draft, you might be able to save those 2 laps.
No, yeah, for sure. If you just play your cards right and don't drive it too hard, just kind of use the draft. But while we got a minute here, I think now's a good time to shout out another one of the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series sponsors. Of course, that being Blackstone Management Partners. Blackstone Management guarantees an unrivaled one-on-one approach to every client, providing them with solutions and services required to keep their dynamic brands thriving and one step ahead of the ever-changing consumer marketplace. Blackstone comprises expertise in marketing, communication, talent management, and event management. Working with their clients, they not only use traditional but state-of-the-art platforms, including mobile marketing, investigative marketing, and cause-driven marketing. Visit them today at bsmpartners.com. Definitely appreciate them being another integral part of the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series. But Justin Levine right now out front. Of course, we saw a lot of drivers come down to top off on fuel. Pace car lights have gone out. I think you're going to probably see Levine hoping for possibly a caution. But then again, those guys that just came down, I still don't think they have enough to make it unless they really kind of just be very conservative.
Well, a large majority of the guys that pitted the first time around just came down again just to make sure that they could top that thing off with fuel. So we are going to get the green with 37 laps to go. 35-ish. That's just, I wish I knew exactly what it was. Because, you hear 35-ish and it's like, is that 33? Is that 37? Like, what are we feeling right here?
Well, I mean, I think it's a variable. It's the variable of the draft. I mean, that's the thing. If you're in the lead, it's less than that. I'm assuming.
And for sure, also, if you're on the bottom lane, I got to imagine you're saving a little bit more fuel, too, because you got to get off the throttle a good bit more. If you're wrapping the outside, you're in the throttle a heck of a lot more than you would be on the bottom, and just burning a lot more gas going around. It's a wider distance, or a longer distance, and because you got the wider circumference of the corner, you're just able to stay into the throttle a whole hell of a lot more going around the outside. So I got to think that a lot of those guys that just came in to top off are going to be a little bit of bottom feeders, or at least they should be if they are trying to save a couple laps of gas.
No, I totally agree. You know, of course, less distance equals less amount of gas used, and of course, you can keep the wheel straighter on the top, so and you're not scrubbing as much. So we'll see how this kind of all plays out. Pace car going to be dipping down pit road as Levine has the field in hand. He, of course, is going to be entering the Geico restart zone, and here we go, green flag out once again as Levine takes off. Very good start there for him. And Boundy also with a very good launch. He's going to secure second.
I understand why a lot of these guys are trying to go to the fuel mileage play. If this thing runs green, it really could work out for them. But with what we've seen early in the going of this race, I'm not seeing a long green flag run in our future, just with how loose these trucks have been through the center of the corner, especially whenever they're all grouped up, packed up tight against each other. I think it's going to be tough to actually see one of those long green flag runs. If we do get spread out after about 10 laps, I think it'll be likely green. But man, the 34, Sean Boundy with a hell of a dive down into turn number 3, able to completely clear Justin Levine through the one set of corners and gap him by a couple of tenths of a second, as now Justin Levine is under pressure from Janzak for second.
I do believe we're taking a look back at this move here from Sean Boundy. You can just see the run he started generating right here and just dove it right underneath and made that pass happen in a split second. What a move. I mean, Boundy is made of some different stuff. And when he joined back into this Champion Power Equipment Truck Series, he put a lot of these guys on notice. I mean, he's a dominator in the Thunderclap, which has actual NASCAR drivers in it, and he beats them. So I'm just saying, Boundy's got some stuff in the tank that a lot of other drivers can't seem to match, but we'll see. I mean, I know Levine is very talented. Janzak, I mean, we got a lot of talented drivers in this series as well, but Boundy is definitely going to challenge them.
Yeah, and what Boundy is really liking to see right now is just 2x2 right behind them. Both the close cars on the inside and outside side drafting each other just a little bit, slowing each other down the straightaway. And then they're fighting in the middle of the corner, trying to get every little bit of real estate. As long as they stay side by side, Boundy's just going to be able to gap them just lap over lap, second over second, easily gap the rest of the field. But it does look like they're able to single file out from second to fourth, as Lucido actually takes second place away from Janzak, and Justin Levine follows right behind in fourth.
Yeah, you can see Janzak, of course, now up to that third place position. We've seen all the drivers that, of course, did hit that last time as well. They are not really challenging. They're kind of just hanging out in the draft. You're not seeing them really move and be as aggressive as a lot of the other drivers. I think that is a telling fact right there. Of course, we see Boundy still driving away about a half a second gap on Lucido. But now that they have stopped battling so much, Lucido has started catching up a hair, as well as people who have some lap traffic out in front of these drivers as well.
Yeah, I believe that's Brian Whitney in the 20, just in front of the leaders right here. And that actually kind of hurts the second place driver, because Boundy's going to be able to get a little bit of a tow for the next couple of straightaways. And like we mentioned earlier, this track is so wide that Boundy can just run where the 76 is not through the middle of the corners and not lose any time throughout the entirety of the corner, just because he's running a different line. He doesn't have to deal with the dirty air, but then he gets on the straightaway and just follows right in the 20s tire tracks all the way down the front stretch, able to get every little bit of advantage down the front. He's actually able to extend that gap by about half a tenth as they go down into turn number 1.
Yeah, a lot of times it's very difficult to actually break the draft at tracks like this, but if he keeps this up, he might be able to do it. But then again, I don't know. I mean, you see Lucido is starting to catch up once again, still battling deep in the mid-pack. You see the 77, of course, fighting, I do believe, with the 22, Stephen Clegg. That's Keegan Sabilo in that 77. Now, Sabilo he won races last season, probably looking to get back there as well, but he is mired right now deep in the pack. You see as well the 24, Nathan Meyer, right ahead of him. Yeah,
they're 3 wide for about the 12th position here. Actually, 13th is Clegg, sorry, in the 13th position. That 22 machine dives down to the inside of Meyer into turn number 1, trying to make the bottom side work. It looks like he's just about able to clear the 24 coming off the corner, but the 24's got the run, able to hold on to his right rear quarter panel going down the backstretch. And where you want to be on the straightaways is the outside. Typically, you have a more formed up stack of cars going down the outside of the straightaways, and able to just push each other past all the cars that are down on the bottom of the racetrack that did not get a good run on the bottom. But as we're watching the mid-pack, second place is catching our leader of Sean Boundy. John Lucido is putting in lap after lap, just a little bit quicker than our race leader.
Yeah, 100%. It's definitely kind of getting a little bit even crazier back here as Jason Taylor just made a big move and took over 12th place and trying to draft his way up to James Harris. Of course, he's been running the absolute tippy top of the racetrack and trying to follow in the tire tracks a little bit loose off the corner there, as a lot of guys are starting to fall off a little bit. We're seeing about 2 to 3 tenths of fall off at the moment. Now, I think it's going to get even worse, and guys are going to start to trend, I think, depending on how you abuse your tires. If you're driving more harder on the bottom or harder on the top, it could equal whether you're going to be tight or loose.
Yeah, for sure. But also, what is so nice about a track like Auto Club where you have multiple lanes is if you're a little bit too tight, go up to the wall and run the outside. Get that wider corner radius and just be able to wrap the outside where you don't have to turn the wheel quite as much. If you're a little bit too loose, run the bottom, get off the throttle just a little bit, but dive it in deep into the corner so that you're running off the right front tire. This track just gives you so many different options in the middle of the corner where you can really go where your car needs you to based on how it is handling.
Yeah, 100%. You can kind of run a different way to kind of balance out the wear. Oh, big move, and here comes Starner. Starner's going to go around, and he is going to be pretty much forced to pit here. Essentially, I don't think that was a voluntary pit stop right there. So you see 4 wide in the mid-pack as well, around where Clegg and Taylor was, as we take a look at the replay of that driver, Starner, of course, getting turned down into the apron. He had a big sin on the 7 of Tyler Meeks, and I don't think Meeks was having any other.
Yeah, not the, I mean, hell of a pit entrance, to be honest. Hopefully he gets his black flag clear. Yeah, he's had his black flag clear, so no harm, no foul there. The Lee admin's doing a good job keeping on their toes there as the 14 got forced down pit road. Hopefully he can get a caution at some point so that he can catch back up to the field, because that was really no fault of his own. He was all the way up by the wall, just got really unlucky. But man, we got a battle up for the race lead. The 73 and the 33 have both closed down on our race leader of Sean Boundy. And now John Lucido dives down to the bottom in turn number 1, tries to make the inside work, doesn't quite get it to work out as Justin Levine now looks to the bottom of him. They're just about 3 wide coming off at turn number 2, and somehow the 73 comes out ahead.
Yeah, what a battle right now. You can just tell tire wear has been a significant factor here lately, as Sean Boundy, 41.7. He is a second off of his fastest lap of the race, as well as Levine. I mean, a lot of these drivers are a half a second, 8 tenths or more, off of what they originally were doing. Still trying their best to keep the speed in these race cars and trying to take care of their equipment, as we're 33 laps into, of course, the race so far, as Lucido is scored as leader. We'll have to see how long he stays in the lead. So here comes Levine. Big sin from Levine.
He's going to get the move done, but that is going to give a crossover opportunity to Lucido, I thought, but he just did not get the exit out of the corner that I thought he was going to get off the high side. Maybe turn the wheel just a little bit too much coming off the corner, scrubbed a little bit of speed, and that allowed Justin Levine to get past nice and easy, but man, they're still really, really tight behind him. It just seems that the draft has been so important. As soon as John Lucido and Justin Levine caught our race leader of Sean Boundy, caught about the 5/10 of a second gap, they just reeled him in unbelievably quick. It only took him another 2 laps after that point. So I'd be interested here to see if John Lucido can hold on to that draft from Levine, but he's getting side drafted from Sean Boundy down the front. That's going to slow them both down into turn 1.
And it's having a big effect on Lucido being side drafted like that. I mean, he had a 42.147. I mean, that is well off of his fastest lap. As, of course, that has also brought Craig Ganzak into the fray, as he is fighting to possibly get onto the podium. Last time by, he was 2 tenths faster than both Lucido and Boundy.
Yeah, with them still side by side going down into turn 3, Justin Levine is some miling wide. Just seeing both of them side draft so heavily down the front stretch, down the back stretch 2 times in a row. But it looks like finally John Lucido's going to get clear of Sean Boundy for that P2 position, and he's got a little bit of help from Ganzak behind.
Yeah, we'll see how long that help lasts, because as soon as he pushes Lucido by Boundy and they both get clear, he's going to set his sights on Boundy, or on Lucido. He's not going to be helping him anymore. Here he goes. I think he has now said that, hey, it's my turn, buddy, to move up to second and go up there and challenge Levine, because Ganzak has, I think, been taking care of his stuff here thus far. Also, another driver that's been doing pretty good at working his way forward has been James Harris. Of course, he's on that alternate strategy to try to save gas. So I think a lot of these drivers that maybe not sure if they can make it are starting to maybe see the signs that this is going to continue to possibly stay green, and that means the green flag pit stops.
Yeah, I really didn't think we were going to get a long green flag run, but as the field starts to spread out, it becomes more and more likely that it stays green. But there's still hard racing throughout the pack. It's just kind of designated into little 2 to 3 car battles instead of the major pack racing that we saw on the restarts. And Justin Levine is still pulling away from our race for second, as we now look back for a race for about the 5th place position, as Paul is trying to hold on to that position from Forsyth and Harris.
now. We're seeing everybody on the field pretty much, or in the field, being hitting 42 second laps or more. So, and these guys started out hitting 40.8s. I mean, that is way off of what their original lap times were, and they're not even at the end of their fuel window. I mean, they still have 10 laps to go until this tank starts to run dry. So imagine what the fall-off is going to look like later on. I mean, I can't imagine what, you know, tire wear is looking like right now, percentages-wise, or heat on the in the tires themselves. As you see the 77, of course, Velo trying to challenge, I do believe, James Harris right now for that 7th place position.
Really interesting to see how much fall off there's been, because we've only ran about 15 laps under green. So to hear that we have a 1.2 seconds of fall off over 15 laps is absolutely unbelievable. That's almost a tenth a lap as we're coming around to complete lap number 38, still with Justin Levine in the lead, just inching that lead out incrementally over Lucido and Janzak lap after lap. Really good race here from Levine, but again, the strategy involved in this race with so many people coming down pit road, topping off with gas on that last caution. I almost have to think the race for the lead is not actually going to be our race winner at this point. How we have ran the last couple laps.
Big hit on the wall from Ball. Brandon Ball just almost about tore down the wall right now. He's going to be losing a lot of spots, probably going to fall out of the top 10. Would not be surprised to see he has some major right side damage after that.
I thought I just commentated curse to caution into existence right there. I just heard your scream. I didn't even see Ball on the main monitor going hard into the wall. But we're going to have to catch a replay on Ball right here. He's ahead of this big group going down into turn number 1. It looked like he was just committed to the outside line, but just didn't turn the wheel in time. And just kind of got the right side of that car into the wall. Once you get it into it, you're just scrubbing speed. And with this being such a big momentum racetrack, there's just no way to kind of regain that momentum until another 2 or 3 corners after.
And he's still going. So, I mean, it looks like, I don't know if it's completely hurt his race car, but he's definitely getting a little bit tight right now on Nathan Meyer. They're getting a little bit too close for comfort at the moment. So I'm sure Meyer's like, please get away from me.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't want the driver that just forgot to turn down into turn number 1 to be on my inside anytime afterwards, because if he forgets how to turn again, then you're dead. You're done. You're screwed. You're going hard into the outside wall, rear end first after he clobbers your left rear tire. But as we're talking about Ball getting into the wall, we got a hard battle for third. Man, Janzak just about threw an absolutely massive block on Sean Bounty down the front stretch. Thought he was going to put Bounty into the outside wall. Luckily, they both were able to hold on to those machines. But this entire grouping from second on to fourth is actually running down our race leader, Justin Levine, over the course of the last lap and a half. They've cut that gap from about 9/10, about a second, to about 0.65 of a second in just about a lap and a half. Crazy job from Lucido to actually be able to run down Justin Levine over the last lap and a half.
Yeah, Levine's actually, or Lucido's looking really good right now. Like, he's got some good lap times coming in, of course, relatively good compared to the rest of the field right now. Everybody is continually to fall off. I'm wondering when they're going to plateau. Levine last time by 42.5, which is a second and a half, I mean, or more off of his best lap. And I hate to keep harping on that, but that is just massive amount of fall off. So it just shows you how important these tires are. Even though this is a super speedway light track for the first few laps, it is all about tire saving. You have to be smooth in order to be faster on the long run.
Yeah, absolutely. And you get a little scared whenever you're out in the lead and you get such a big lead. We saw it with Sean Bounty just a little while ago. Whenever he took the race lead on the restart, he got out to, a couple tenths of a second lead, about 8/10, I believe. And then he got reeled in really, really quick. It's almost like he burned the front end off of it just a little bit too early. He's actually been able to recover those. He's just kind of bided his time over the last couple laps and has actually passed Janzak for the 3rd place position after he was able to cool down those front tires. But it looks like everybody from second on to fourth is just much faster than our race leader at this point of Justin Levine. You got to think, did he get too big of a gap? Did he wear out that right front tire just a little bit too much and give these guys an opportunity to get back in the race?
I'm really looking at what I'm seeing from Tyler Meeks. I think it might be a good idea to go ahead and start to think about pitting. Tyler Meeks pitted. He's a second. He's like 1.3 seconds faster than everybody around him right now. He just unlapped himself, and he drove right by these guys like they were standing.
There it is.
There it comes Lucido. And I think that was I'm pretty sure Tyler Meeks just served as a advertisement, a billboard for Goodyear tires. Because go get some now. Like,
this is where the strategy comes in. Can any of those guys make it on cast from earlier? We're going to see all of our race leaders come down to pit road. Who's the first car on tires? Who's the first car with a full tank of gas on that last restart? That's really my question at this point, because that might be your race winner by the end of this.
I think one driver that, in particular, that I think has got a good shot at maybe making it to the end of this race on fuel would probably be James Harris. You can clearly see he's saving 43-second lap last time by. He's not really trying to push it, but I don't know if that's really worthwhile, man. I feel like if you're putting off the gas or putting off the throttle that much and you're losing that much time, those guys on fresh tires that pit and just go ahead and pit, they're going to end up catching you, just considering they're going to be that much faster than you.
Levine has also come down pit road trying to cover off Lucido. He came down one lap after, so he's going to have a lap fresher tires than Lucido for the end of this race. I just think it's going to be impossible for them to catch any of the cars that stayed. Actually came down pit road on the last caution, topped it off with fuel. I feel like the pit stop just cost you way too much time at a track like Auto Club where you're running absolutely immense speeds going down into the corner. Even on the worn tires, Yanzak's only going down to about 153 through the middle of turn 3 and 4. Actually dips down into the 140s a little bit, but that's just because he's coming down to pit road. Now looking to the inside of the 34, just about made contact with the rear bumper there coming down pit road of Bounty. But it looks like both of them were able to get onto pit road without a problem.
I don't know, man. I just feel like, I'm seeing a lot of these guys are starting to get, like Tyler Meeks, I'm looking at his lap times, compared to a lot of these other drivers that are saving. Being a second faster than someone over a 20-lap, run, I think, or maybe even more, a second and a half, 2 seconds faster than someone over that long of a run, it adds up quickly. And we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. Of course, John Lucido, I do believe, possibly has the net lead maybe here. He just got by Justin Levine.
And they're just in front of our actual race leaders at the moment as they're coming down to the start-finish line. Keegan Sabilo just now going across the line right after all of them. That's just way too much track to make up in 14 laps for the guys on new tires. I just really think it's impossible. They're going to have to hope and pray either for a caution or for all of these guys to run out of gas.
Yeah, I think that's definitely going to be something that could very well happen. And this is the kind of racing that I love. I hope we go green and we get to figure all of that out. I love to see the numbers, the fuel race. That's kind of the best race in my opinion. To see who's going to make it on gas, who it was brave enough and bold enough to attempt to make it on gas. And because Keegan Sabilo, though, specifically has won races based on fuel. He won one last season because he was brave enough to do an alternate strategy and went the distance that no one else thought they could, and he did it. So, keep an eye on him, too. That 77, very good at thinking outside the box. But I think now's probably a pretty good time. I know we have to kind of hit a little. We haven't talked a whole lot about, paid any attention to our sponsors. I think now's a good time. Maybe we'll go side by side, and we'll give them a little bit of attention. Of course, we'll still have the action on your screens. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Grip Vision's coverage of the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series. Of course, my name is Brian Britt. I have Austin Edstrom as my co-commentator. Austin Derbyshire, of course, down behind the cameras. We're watching the race for the lead and possibly the race to see who's got enough gas left. Nathan Meyer and Keegan Sabilo pitted about 30 laps ago, and they're going to have to stretch it, I do believe, about 3 extra laps in order to make it to the end of this event. And they're side-by-side battling. I don't know how good at saving that's going to be.
Yeah, Sabilo actually came down on that last caution and came down twice to make sure that he got enough fuel in the tank on the second time around to top off, trying to make it as long as he can. The 24 also pitted on that caution, but he did not come down on the last lap to top off, likely just clutched that thing all the way around. Still probably, whenever the restart came around, he probably had about 0.2, 0.3 gallons less of fuel than Sabilo did. Is that going to come back to bite him at the end of this race? Is he actually going to have to back off and save a little bit compared to Sabilo? Or have they both saved enough at this point and are just racing super hard for the race lead with no worries for gas? We've got 7 laps to find out.
Yeah, and also you see Meyer is taking more of the low line. And we even pointed that out as well earlier, that, you know, taking that lower line, shortening the distance around the racetrack is better for fuel economy. So I think he's been saving in that regard as well, while Sabilo has been running the absolute top of the track.
Yeah, Sabilo's having to run the top side, but, I mean, again, if he's safe enough in the draft in the earlier part of the race, or the earlier part of the run, then who really cares? But what these guys really need to pay attention to is that 99. Nicholson is absolutely flying right now. He was about a second back about 2 or 3 laps ago, and now he's on the back bumper of both of our race leaders. He could make this a 3-way fight for the race lead, coming to 5 laps to go this time by.
Yeah, he's running about a half a second faster than both of those guys. So I think Sabilo and Meyer were saving in a lot of ways. But Meyer, or I should say Nicholson, I don't think he's saving as much anymore right now. So it's going to be possibly a battle between the Nathans here. So this is curious to see how this all plays out. It looks like Nicholson is going to take over that second place position. And I do believe we're going to be coming to 5 laps to go. We are now 5 laps to go. And I'm sure the fuel is starting to get really low in these race cars as well. All this whole run, though, James Harris, Mike Wheeler, I think those drivers have been saving gas. This is still up in the air. It's going to be, I have no idea who was going to win this race. I mean, we could see someone run out of gas. Or we could see the whole top 10 run out of gas coming out of turn 4.
Nicholson trying to clear Sabilo coming off at turn 4. He's not quite going to be able to do it. Sabilo still on the right rear quarter panel. They make contact coming out of the corner. Both the drivers save it. Sabilo's trying to come down and side draft down the front stretch. Just killed the 99's run going down the front straightaway. Still side by side. They've been like this. Oh, man, more contact going down into turn number 1. Nicholson's trying to use absolutely everything he can to his advantage. And that's actually going to edge out the 77 of Sabilo. Can he get the run back down the back? My God.
Yeah, I mean, Nicholson, that was some awesome battling between those two drivers. I mean, they had a little bit of contact. It shows a little bit of a lot of trust between those two guys, and they were willing to get that close and kind of lean on each other like that. And hopefully we get to talk to him a little bit about that whole back and forth between the two drivers. Of course, not Meyer still in the fight though. He's right here in the draft. I think he's just been like, hey, you guys can go right ahead and battle if you like. Definitely interested to see how this kind of all plays out here as we're coming, I do believe, next time by 2 laps to go. This race is flown right on by as we're on lap 58, coming to 59.
Man, now we get to see, was it just the draft that gave Nicholson that huge advantage, or was it his tire saving earlier in the run? He's just been backing up the corners a little bit more, running that bottom line and being able to get a nice straight run off the corner. But you can see that draft that the 77 gets down the back. If he can get a good enough run through 3 and 4 and use the same draft on the little bit longer straightaway as it's curved just a bit, he could really have a good run. He might need a bump draft from the 24, though, to make it work. And also, do all 3 of these drivers have enough gas to make it to the end? We've only got 2 laps to go.
Yeah, we're getting ready to find out here is, of course, the next time by, we're going to have that white flag, and after that, the next flag will end it. Of course, I do believe we just saw a pass for 4th place. James Harris just moved up to 4th, as well as Mike Wheeler having a battle with Mark Math at the moment as well. We saw Math earlier had some issues. He, of course, is still in the fight here, as well as the 42, Mike Wheeler. So big battle for 4th right now.
Yeah, but going down into turn 3, Sabilo's as close to the 99 as he's been the past couple laps, trying to get that outside line to work so he can get that run down the front stretch. He's going to need a big bump from the 24 of Nathan Meyer to be able to make it work, kind of use the air bubble behind him. And he's closer than he was the last lap as we take the white flag in the season opener of the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series. Can Sabilo do it, or will Nathan Nicholson hold on and save enough gas to win the race?
Looks like you see Sabilo tries to get to the back bumper to maybe push him to go a little bit faster than he probably wants to go, than he's comfortable to do. But keep in mind, Nathan Nicholson is in clean air right now, which means he's going to be burning more fuel. He's trying to break the draft right now, moving all over the racetrack. As, of course, Sabilo under fire from Myers. They come through 3 and 4, and it looks like they possibly might have enough gas to make it to the end. Will Nicholson win the first race here? It looks like he might, and I think they can pretty much coast there. And yes, Nathan Nicholson will win at Auto Club. How much gas is he going to have to do or left to do a burnout? I'm not sure, but very close race as well for that second place position. It looks like Meyer was able to secure second and Sabilo in third. What a race to the end. I didn't think they had enough fuel, but apparently they did, and I guarantee you the guys that did not pit at that caution, that decided to stay out, like, oh, I'm just going to stay out, they're regretting it right now.
Yeah, they got to be scratching their heads. We thought it was going to be Justin Levine. We thought it was going to be Sean Bounty. We thought it was going to be John Lucido, but it's Nathan Nicholson with the absolutely amazing strategy call that worked out for him. We thought it was going to be a caution fest at that point of the race. You got to think that everybody that stayed out under that last caution thought the same thing, but it was not to be for those guys as Nathan Nicholson's coming up back to the front stretch. Still enough gas to be able to come all the way up here and do some burnouts for us.
Well, hopefully. He made it this far. We'll see if he can do a burnout here. And there it is. Yeah, he's going to be able to do a couple turns for us. But what a job for Nathan Nicholson, able to get the victory here at Auto Club in the first race of the Fall Champion Power Equipment Truck Series season. And he's going to do quite a bit of burnouts. But let's take a look at the final results here after our event here at Auto Club. And, of course, Nathan Nicholson, our victor. Nathan Meyer. How about that? A Nathan 1-2. Keegan Sabilo in third place. James Harris comes home in fourth. Mark Math in 5th. Mike Wheeler comes home 6th. Robert Wynn in 7th. Stephen Clegg 8th. 9th place William Mann Jr. And 10th Brad Thacker.
11th Justin Levine. 12th Craig Yanzak. 13th Sean Bounty. And 14th John Lucido. Got to think all those guys are super upset with the way that this race turned out. Looked like it was going to be one of those to win the race, but it was not to be. 15th Jason Taylor. 16th Tyler Meeks. 17th Brandon Ball. 18th Caleb Forsythe. 19th Dan Starner. 20th, Brian Whitney, and 21st, our only retiree of the night, James South.
Yeah, definitely got to be heartbreaking there for James South. The wreck happened pretty much no fault of his own, but that's just kind of somehow how the breaks kind of go sometimes. Of course, this is going to start our post-race show, and we'll get to talk to our top 3 performers here in just a moment. We're going to take another step away, pay some more attention to our much, very important sponsors, but we'll be right back with our top 3. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Grid Vision's coverage of the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series here at Auto Club Speedway. Of course, we just finished our first race of the fall season, and what a spectacular show it was. We're going to start out our post-race show with our third-place finisher. And, of course, that being Keegan Sobilo. Mr. Sobilo, do you read me?
Yeah, glad to be back again.
Yeah, we're glad to have you back, man. What a race there for that, for the podium, essentially. I mean, you... Nicholson and Meyer were all right there on top of each other. Walk us through what was going through your mind, and how did you guys stretch the fuel? We thought that was going to be impossible.
Yeah, so going back to last season, I kind of played the same strategy at Chicagoland when I would realize I would be in a certain amount of fuel there that was reasonable that I could just save by just driving around. And that was the plan from there. You know, I'm not a big track racer. I'm not a speedway racer. I've always been a short track racer, and I'll probably always be a short track racer. Big fan of it. So for a top 3 tonight here, you know, to start the season off, I know there's about a couple short tracks and I could really bank on, but you know, the first for a championship, the first bullet is dodged. So just pleased with the top 3 finish. I mean, the field's just so talented to come out and race against. So, you know, couldn't ask for more, but, you know, I couldn't even believe it when I was in the lead with, 5 laps to go or something. Nathan Nicholson saved his tires there a little bit better than me, and, you know, it paid off there at the end. But just to be up there leading laps and actually competing at a big racetrack, speed-wise, not, you know, completely not all fuel, but a little bit of fuel there. But to be able to do that, that's just the highlight of my night there. So.
Yeah, and I know we've seen similar strategies from you in the past when it comes to, you know, you kind of think outside the box, and you know, you know, with the fuel strategy and things like that. I know last season, I should say, I think you won a race based on fuel strategy, right?
Yeah, that would be correct. We won Chicagoland last season based off fuel strategy. It was the only one that was able to make it to the end. But, you know, it's not about leading every lap. It's about leading one lap, right? So you always got to think out of the box if you're gonna want to do good. If you're going for points and you're running 10th and you're having a bad day, well, you got to think out of the box. The only time you don't really think out of the box is when you're the leader and you kind of got control of the race. So if you're second on back, normally, you know, most people would have different type of strategies rolling through their head. Well, what if I do this? Well, what if I did that? And I was waiting for it. I had that planned right at the beginning of the race. I was waiting for a caution at specifically lap 23. If I can get it at lap 23 and pit on lap 23, I knew we were going to be good from there.
How about that, man? I guess we ought to call you a soothsayer, able to just predict the future here, Keegan. Well, next week we're going to go into Texas Motor Speedway. Not exactly the same as Auto Club, but it is still one of the bigger tracks. But it also is a little bit different as well, considering 1 and 2 is a little bit tricky. What are you thinking about Texas? Have you turned any laps there?
We'll get a lot of experience. I got a cup race there Monday night for 120 laps. So have a lot of track time there. Texas it's a fun racetrack. I mean, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 are completely different. Good thing it's not like Auto Club, because I'm normally terrible at these type of racetracks, but you know, you get lucky once in a while. And yeah, I'm looking ahead to October 3rd, the week after, Bristol. That's one I got circled on as an opportunity as being a short track guy to maybe go in there and have some sort of competing chance for a win there. But Texas, we're just gonna have the same goal. We're gonna points race like we did last year, and try and see if we can score the championship this year. I was thankful to make the first race, but 1 and 2 at Texas sometimes can drive like a short track, so that can be used as an advantage. But and prepare for the races. Those 3 in a row: Bristol, anyone can get Daytona, and then IRP. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
All right, well, definitely thanks for your time, Keegan. Who can we give a shout out to after this third place finish?
Yeah, thank you to all the sponsors in the car: United States Racing League, Jazbowski Designs, After Hours Restorations, Admin Box, Johnson iRacing Team. Thank you to the sponsors of this league: Champion Power Equipment, the main sponsor here for everything that they do, letting us come out here and race on Tuesday night, and James and all you guys and at Grid Vision and everyone that is able to help put this on. Also, thank you to my friend Joey for a little bit of tips here before coming into tonight's race. And we'll go see what we got next week at Texas. Congratulations to both Nathans there in first and second.
All right, Keegan. We'll see you next week, brother. Congratulations on the third place, and we can't wait to see you in the future.
Appreciate it. Thank you, buddy.
That was Keegan Sobilo, of course, our third place finisher. Next up is Nathan Meyer And Austin Edstrom's going to be standing by with him, and here he is.
Hey, Nathan, we got a copy?
Yeah, what's going on?
Oh, nothing much. Just really excited from that good race y'all put on for the win there. I mean, goodness, it looked like coming earlier whenever you came down that pit road, that pit stop. Did you really think that we were going to go green the entire way? Because up here we didn't after the beginning of the race. But you made it work off that strategy call. I mean, what were you thinking at the beginning of that run? Did you really think it was going to go green the whole way through?
No, I didn't. I thought they were for sure going to wreck again, so it didn't really matter how much fuel I was saving at the beginning or how much tire I was using, but, you know, lo and behold, it's usually the opposite of what you think. But I ran out as soon as I crossed our finish line, and I just didn't save enough tire to handle the other Nathan, so it was fun, though.
Yeah, still a great P2 run, being able to use the strategy to your advantage there and getting, like you said, I mean, that was like it was straight from God itself, saying it's normally the exact opposite way that you think that it's going to work out. I couldn't tell you how many times I've had that same feeling, but it worked out for you this time, and it was really entertaining to watch. What more did you need towards the end of that race to maybe be able to challenge Nathan Nicholson for the race win?
You know, I think if I got clear of Keegan when I was trying to pass him for, I don't know, 8 or 9 laps, I think he wouldn't have made as much time on the both of us, and in hindsight I probably should have waited to make that move, but once he got by, there's no catching him, but probably just should have got by Keegan faster if I could have.
So after the P2 finish, are you more inclined to think, okay, I've got a chance to run for this championship this year, being able to come to a big fast track like Auto Club and running the P2 spot? I mean, mightily impressive, especially on the strategy call like you did, and probably could have won, like you said, if maybe you just did that pass a little bit different that you were trying to do for the race lead with about 10 to go. Does it just make you feel like you've got a much better chance for maybe running for the championship here with this really good run?
Yeah, I feel like every year I have a good chance. I just missed some races here and there due to real life stuff, but won the last race last year and then finished second here, so yeah, I got all the confidence in the world.
Well, congratulations on your P2 finish. Are there any shout outs you can give towards the end of this interview?
Just thanks you guys, Champion Power Equipment, putting this on. It's really fun to do this and hang out with the boys.
Alrighty, well, thank you, and congratulations once again on that P2. Looking forward to talking to you much more this year.
Thanks, man.
All right, that was our P2 finisher of Nathan Meyer. I don't see our race winner still in the chat. I don't know if maybe we can send him a message to try to get him in here before
already did. Already did.
Right.
Unfortunately, Nathan Nicholson, I do believe he has something else going on. He's not going to be able to do an interview here tonight for that win. Unfortunate, definitely, but we definitely give him a big congratulations on the victory. Hopefully, we'll get to talk to him at another point later in the season for sure. But what a fantastic performance there for him and Nathan Meyer and Keegan Sabilo. So just, yeah, definitely, I hate it we can't talk to him, but you know, still a great job to him, and he definitely let his talking, you know, be on the racetrack. That's for sure.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, what a job he did running down our 2 race leaders there at the end, being able to pass both of them with relative ease, and then still being able to hold off both of them after they were able to get the draft. He just did a really good job saving his tires, running the bottom of the racetrack, just kind of lifting a little bit early so that he could get the car all the way rotated down to the bottom of the racetrack with just about no wheel input put into the truck, and just being able to save that right front tire throughout the entirety of that last run there. I mean, that's a long run, full fuel run to be able to save your tires like that. So great job from Nathan Nicholson. Can't sing his praises enough since he's not in here to give an interview to sing them himself. So congratulations to Nathan on that great P1.
Yeah, 100%. And with that, I think now's the time to possibly go through the schedule for the remaining. We were talking about how thick it is, so we're going to go through it one more time.
Dang, that schedule's thick.
It definitely is, of course. Tomorrow night, we're going to be going to Homestead Miami Speedway to conclude the Thunderclap iRacing Series presented by TLC. That'll be at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to have pretty much Ryan Truex, Sean Boundy. I can't recall the other 2 drivers, but there's definitely going to be 4 of them going head-to-head for a championship, and it's going to be a close one, that's for sure. I cannot wait to see how that goes. Of course, me and Justin Prince are going to be on the call for that one. On Friday, we're going to continue that NIS coverage that we have been getting quite popular for. I can't wait for it. I love to call those races with you, Austin. Unfortunately, you're not going to be there, buddy. But 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What's that?
Not for the next 2 weeks. I'm so upset. I love the NIS Friday night. Heartbreaking.
Yeah, I know. It'll be okay, though. We still love you. Of course, make sure you tune in 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All the boys are going to be there. We're going to have a ton of competition for sure at Texas. Of course, Sunday we're going to have a double header of some more Texas. That'll be Global Racing Truck Series, and the RGR Cup Series. That'll be the Global Racing, of course, is going to be 12:30. RGR is going to be at 9. So make sure you tune in for all that action on Sunday. If you don't get enough action with the Cup race, you could definitely come and watch us for sure. But with that, that brings us to the conclusion of tonight's broadcast of the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series at Auto Club and on Grid Vision. Of course, congratulations once again to Nathan Nicholson and Nathan Meyer and Keegan Sabilo for their podium finishes here. Thanks to everyone as well that tuned in. I want to thank my co-commentator, Austin Edstrom, also the producer, Austin Darbyshire, and anyone else that's involved with Grid Vision that helps make all this possible. My name is Brian Britt, and I'll see you next time.